Everything I'm about to say in this video is facts and facts only. Hi, hello, and welcome back to a little bit of everything with Lava. It's December, and while that means happy times and holidays, it also means the grade 11's gotta start applying to universities. I remember how stressed I was because I had no idea what I wanted to do or where I wanted to go. I still don't know what I'm doing, but after spending about a semester in university, I learned a few things that I want to share. So this is the advice that I personally wish I received, and if you came here for generic information or statistical information on the success rates of programs in universities, then this video is not for you. This is mostly going to be for those kids that have interest in things that are not STEM related and are confused if they should follow their passion or please their parents. First of all, stop stressing so much. I feel like my whole life I've been told to stress about things that after a few years just didn't matter at all. Like if you're Canadian and you did the EQAO test, you know. We were literally in the 3rd grade. The number of level 4s I got did not dictate my life. Why did everyone make it such a big deal? The same way which middle school you went to was such a big deal and the high school you chose was such a big deal. In the long run, none of these things even mattered. And it's the same thing for university. You choose a program, you don't like it, you switch. It's fine. You will be fine. Second of all, please stop listening to those rich white men on YouTube trying to tell you that any degree other than a STEM degree is useless and will leave you unemployed. Those videos make me very angry. Let me tell you how I see it. Let's get into the video. Any degree could lead to a job the same way any degree could leave you unemployed. People without even a high school degree are sometimes making more than doctors are with a whole PhD. So that should be enough proof. That being said, some degrees do mean that you're gonna have to put in some extra work to get employed, or you just need to get lucky. So when you choose to follow your passion, just ask yourself, after getting that degree, are you willing to do what you need to do? Any passion can be successful and make you lots of money. You just need to go at it with all your effort and not give up when times get tough. So if you're down for that, go for that arts degree. And when people tell you you're stupid and you're not gonna get anywhere, just remember that and use it as motivation to work harder and prove them wrong. Now, if you're someone that'll easily get discouraged by people saying mean things about your program, like me, and are considering doing a degree similar to what you're interested in, but with a different name that seems to be more socially acceptable, just don't. It's not worth it. Because I did that, and while I don't regret my program, it didn't change how much people talk down on it. I finally decided that I wanted to do journalism, but I realized if I went to a family function and told people that I'm doing journalism, they'd look at me like I'm stupid. So I chose to do communications because the full name was communications technology. But now I go and tell people that I'm doing communications and they look at me like I'm stupid and don't even know what my program is. So at this rate, I could have just done journalism. So what this means is if you're worried about what people will say, but you're still not gonna go into a STEM program or law, just know that they're gonna look at you like that no matter what your program is. So you might as well go into what you actually like instead of ending up in something you don't like for the next 4 years. Now, the second worst thing to judgy family members are STEM majors. Your STEM major friends will talk down on your program. Even though they chose that life for themselves, they'll come to you and tell you how easy your program is and how much harder they have it. What people need to understand is there is no easy program. Humanities courses are still hard in their own way. You're gonna have so many essays to write. Just because you don't have to do math or science doesn't mean your program is easy. Now, if you are considering a STEM major and you're somehow still watching this video because I probably wouldn't be, please don't just go into it for bragging rights, especially if you're planning on doing life sciences or medicine. All of these people that went into these programs just to brag or to satisfy their parents are the reason why we have doctors that won't listen to us, give us the wrong medication, and gaslight us about how we feel. So if you are going into that program, why don't you go into it for, I don't know, your passion for helping people? Same thing with psychology. Even though it's not necessarily considered a STEM course, it's still something that a lot of people do just to do. Please don't. I'm done having therapists and psychiatrists that invalidate my feelings and can't help me. Anyways, my point is, I understand some of your parents can be, well, crazy, and while obviously you should never go into a program because someone is forcing you to, I think some people just don't have a choice. But if that's the case for you, please go into a major that doesn't affect the lives of others. Anyways, moving on. Now, once you've chosen the program or programs that you want to try applying to, you gotta choose your university. Listen, don't just go to U of T because your uncle said so. And definitely do not go somewhere because your best friend or your significant other is going there. There is no guarantee that these people will be with you forever, so don't end up going to a place that isn't for you just because because of them. You will regret it so much. Go to a university because your chosen program is actually good there. Now, what if your program is equally good at several universities? For competitive programs, some university graduates do apparently have an upper hand on employment, so make sure you look into that. But if that does not apply to your program, here are some things you should consider. 1. The distance of the university. Because I cannot explain the frustration of commuting for 3 hours just for an hour and a half of class. At first it seems manageable, but it's crazy how much work you could actually get done if you were home for that amount of time. Number 2, extra costs for things like dorm rooms. I understand that some people choose dorms because they want to try being independent in their first year of university, and some people just don't have a choice because of how far their university is. But just know that your university expenses literally double if you're living there, and sometimes there's just comfort in coming home to your mom after a long day of school. Number 3, the environment of the university. Make sure the university's environment is one that you can thrive in. If you're into Harry Potter and very sophisticated environments where people walk around in long coats looking like they have their entire lives together, you might want to go to U of T St. George campus. I know I would hate it, but I know a lot of people that would love that. Number 4, will you excel at that university? As good as a program may be, if it doesn't match your learning styles, then you will not do well, and at that point there's no reason why you should go there. Because I know for a fact if I went to a university where there were classes of 300 people, everything was just lecture based, and I had several exams, I would not be doing as well as I am right now. So please don't just choose a university because of what people are saying or its prestige. Look into where you would actually perform well and be able to stand out. I know you might feel like none of the universities are for you, and that's fair because university isn't for everyone. But at the same time, if you do your research, you might actually find something that's meant for you. I go to York, not even the main campus. I go to Glendon. Don't get me wrong, I love Glendon. But let's be honest here, no one knew what it is or where it is unless they actually went to York University. I didn't even know it existed until I went to York's open house. So my point is, there are a lot more universities than U of T and Ryerson. Did they even change its name yet? Okay, U of T and Waterloo. So do your research. Every university's atmosphere is different, and you'll definitely find one that works better for you. Now, once you've decided where you want to apply, try applying early, but no pressure. Even though the deadline is, I think, in March, sometimes the earlier you apply means the better chance you have of getting in. This isn't always the case, but it's better to be safe than sorry. Again, if you're not able to apply early for whatever reason, then that's fine. But if you can, then do it. Now, after you apply, what next? Please, please, please apply to scholarships, especially those ones that your guidance counselor suggests for you. Yes, your university will give you an entrance scholarship based on your average, but extra money never hurt anyone. The relief in not having to worry about paying your tuition is underrated. Yes, those essays are annoying and applications can be long, but it's so worth it, so please do it. Speaking of scholarship essays, don't ever fall for those scams that tell you that they'll write you essays for university applications and scholarship applications. A normal essay that you wrote yourself can get you in. Don't waste hundreds of dollars on these scams. If anything, just watch a YouTube video on what you should include in those essays. You'll also have to apply for OSAP around May, but the website kind of takes you through the whole process, so I'm not going to talk much about it. And then in the end of May or beginning of June, you're going to have to decide where you want to go. And again, don't stress too much. If you go somewhere or choose a program and a year in you realize this is not for me, there are people that will help you change your program, and it'll be okay. The only downside is the time you're wasting in the program you're not enjoying, but how are you supposed to find out what you like if you don't try a bunch of different things out? I know in this moment it feels like the most significant decision you're ever gonna make in your life, but don't worry, you got this. Now, for those of you who stayed till the end, here are some hacks to fool your parents and relatives into thinking you're smart while doing a non-STEM program or not going to U of T or Waterloo. If you don't have financial problems and have money to spend on applications, just apply to random universities and programs just so you can be like, oh, I got into Waterloo and I got into U of T, but I willingly decided to go here, not because I couldn't get into anything else. If that is impossible for you, then look into the most socially acceptable job or master's program that you can get into with your bachelor's degree. For me, for example, I could technically go to law school with my degree. So now when people look at my mom like, why would you ever let your child do something like this to themselves? She just tells them I'm gonna go to law school after. I think she's also hoping I do that herself, but if you're watching this and my mom told you that, I am not going to law school. I am finishing this degree and I'm never doing school again. But I mean, at least my mom gets some sort of satisfaction out of it. But honestly, all that aside, please don't take any of that seriously. Yes, I did do those things and I'm not lying about it, but it doesn't get you anywhere. It literally doesn't. I just wasted a few hundreds of dollars applying. People still look at me like I'm crazy for doing the program that I'm doing. People still lecture me about making good decisions in life and how I'm probably not going to make enough money, but that's okay, okay? It's your life. life. When you get 20 tests and 60 assignments from your teachers, your aunties and uncles are not gonna write those for you. You have to do it yourself. So just go into something that you feel like you're capable of completing and do what you enjoy, because trust me, doing something you don't enjoy will make you miserable, much more miserable than the way you feel when people talk down on your program. Also, there is no such thing as a dumb or smart program. It's 2021, there are so many ways to make money now and so many different jobs people can do. Let's stop saying that. Do what you want to do and make people realize that people doing your program can be successful too. Anyways, I hope you found this video helpful. Depending on your point of view, this could be the worst advice ever, and we might just all end up unemployed after we graduate, but at least we'll be unemployed together. Also, please don't take this video as STEM major slander. Obviously, we do need STEM majors because those jobs are very important for society, and without doctors, I don't even know where we'd be. I just hope you guys are going into those programs for the right reasons. And that brings me to the end of my video. If you stayed to this point, comment what you're deciding between, or what you've decided, or where you already go. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you on a Sunday at 12 in another episode of A Little Bit of Everything with Lava. Bye!